One moment, please. So now you should not make any threats against the president or anything like that, because when I post this on YouTube, you know, the NSA is going to scan it and find out if you made any threats against the president, and then they'll hunt you down like a dog. Or we can make it sound like Aaliyah said something bad, and then that way they'll come and pick her up. So, you know, but it's all good. All right.
Someone actually left the meeting now.
Did they really?
Yeah.
No, everyone's here. Liliana fell out, but then she came back. She has all these issues, I swear. She has multitudinous issues. That poor woman got knocked out of the test like 10 times yesterday, and she kept coming back. That was the part that amazed me, because after like 5, I would have been like, hell with this. I'm done with this. I don't care what happens. I'm not doing the rest of it. And she kept coming back and coming. She had once where the graphics wouldn't show up on the math tests, and so it's like we had to reboot her computer, and then on the ELA test, she got knocked out at least 5 or 6 times, you know, where it just kind of said, boop. And then I tried to reset her, and it was like, okay, she's reset. And she's like, there's no test. And I'm like, what the heck? So I reset it again. Okay, now I see the test. She gets in. As soon as she gets in, it kicks her out. I mean, literally, the instant it says in process, and then boop, she's gone. And I'm like, oh my God, there's no way she's coming back. And she comes back. So I'm not sure. I think she's kind of insane, but you know, it's just a theory. Okay. All right. Are we ready to start with some fun? Are we ready for the herding? See, now how many questions do I have here? Ooh, 20 questions. We should probably do all 20 tonight, right? All right, now.
Today, 10 tomorrow.
Probably 5 tonight, actually.
Yes.
So now there's a few things we need to remember here, okay? First of all, we need to remember complementary angles. We need to remember supplementary angles. We need to remember vertical angles. We need to remember how parallel lines work. These are corresponding. Corresponding. Okay. Corresponding, where like 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1, 2 in terms of measurements. What else was there? We need to remember that the angles of a triangle add up to 180. So one of the reasons I like these problems personally is that it puts all of these rules together into one problem. Now, it's not that all of them are there, but it's that you're going to use various ones of these to solve each one of these problems. Okay, so it becomes a detective task. So let's take a look. So now these are the ones that usually make people want to vomit when they see these, because they think, oh my God, somebody just kill me now. Because it just looks like, really, you want me to find this one, and then only thing I know about is way over here? Yeah, but these aren't hard. So I want to show you why these aren't hard, okay? Now, if we look at these, we have to figure out, where do I have information that will allow me to provide some other piece of information to another part of, like, I want to find out the value of some of these unknown angles. Do you see any angle on this diagram where we know what the value of an unlabeled angle is, what the measurement is? Aaliyah?
Well, one of those straight lines we already know is 180 degrees.
Well, that's true, but we need to know what one of the two angles would be before it's helpful, right? But you're right, a straight angle is 180, and that is an important thing to remember. So yeah. What else? Do I see something here where I can say, oh, because this angle is such and such, this angle has to be this size? Look at it. Think about all your rules. Think about all the angle rules that we've learned about. Aaliyah?
Well, I'm probably wrong, but I do see a triangle. So would that mean something?
Well, the triangles are going to be something we're going to use, yeah. Because once we find out two angles in a triangle, we're going to be able to figure out what the third one is, right? Audrey, you got one for me?
66.
Yeah, right? Look right here, guys. Aren't these vertical angles? Right? So that means that this is 66. Since this is 66, so is this. Well, now look what I have. Now I have two angles inside of a triangle. I should be able to calculate what this angle is now, right? Because I have two of them. So all I have to do is add those up, subtract them from 180, and I'll know what this angle is. Okay, so let's do 180. That's going to be what, 146? 34. Okay. Now, do I have an unknown angle that I can find out the value of now? Take a look at it, guys. Jacoby?
Maybe it's like the 58 right there, since now we have the 34.
Like this one right there?
Yeah.
So what's going to be the measurement of that angle there? What's that measurement going to be? Think about, how am I going to find that? Here's a hint. There's a hint. Aaliyah?
Well, I was going to say 90 degrees.
Yeah, and remember, now you
because-
can't, it's really tempting to look at it and say, oh, it's 90 degrees. But remember, if we don't have that little symbol, then we have to prove that it's 90 degrees, right? We have to use math to prove that that's true. What did I lose? So how am I going to find it? Jacoby?
Is it a supplementary like angle?
Yeah, they are supplementary angles. How many angles are there in these supplementary angles? 3, right? In this case, these 3 angles add up to 180, don't they? Because they take up, they are the measurement of a straight line. You see that, guys? So 34 plus 58 plus whatever this is going to equal 180. So now I'm going to take 180 and I'm going to subtract. Well, let's see. 5 and 3 is 80 plus 12 is 92. 88. So it's really close to 90, but it's not. So, you know, that's why you have to check it. We can't just, we can't make an assumption. Okay. So now this is 88. What are we going to do? Hold on a sec. I have to look at this a moment. My little brain. Oh, I see what we can do. Sorry. Brain fart. So there is another angle here that's currently unlabeled that we can find the measurement of. What do we have? Now we're running out of unmeasured angles, right? So it's either going to be this one or this one, right? Brian, what do you see? What do you think? Yeah,
I think it's the top one
yeah.
because there's a supplementary angle right there.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. And when I do this, I get 42. So now what do I have? Now I have two angles of a triangle. Now, I'm going to show you how you can do this in one step. What do you think about that? This angle right here. Okay, are you ready? This equals 180 minus 88 minus 42, right? We know that, right? Because here's my two angles that I know about in the triangle. But this has the same measurement, doesn't it? Because they're vertical angles, right? So as soon as I discover this, I have my final answer, don't I? So just to kind of show you that that's kind of a cool little thing where we can see, oh yeah, okay, cool. So 88 plus 42 is going to be 130. Yes. And 180 minus 130 is going to be 50. Well, what'd you think? Was that kind of cool? Was that a little more interesting than you thought it was going to be? How many of you like puzzles? If you like puzzles, you're going to like these problems. If you hate puzzles, you're going to be like, somebody just kill me now. Alyssa's like, I hate puzzles. Do you hate puzzles, Alyssa?
Kind of.
Yeah. I saw the look in your face. You're like, looked like you just like bit into a unripe lemon. You're just like, that was a lot of work though, wasn't it?
Do another one though.
No, we're just going to do one example because that's all I ever do. I never do more than one example. All right, let's go back and look at number one. So we did a hideous one to start with. Now let's look and see if this one's easier. Now, they want us to find this guy. Okay, then. How are we going to find it? This is a two-step process. Yeah, Alexandra.
Well, it looks like you could take the 64 and put it in with the 42 for the top angle.
Yeah, that's true. Now that'll tell me what this is and what this is, but it still doesn't tell me what, oh, well, no, that's true. We could go that direction too. Never mind. Now what do you want to do? I just realized there's several ways to solve this. Now what should we do? Brian?
You should add the 64 and the 42.
And that gives me 106. And what do you want me to do with that?
Do 180 minus 106.
I'm going to take a guess, Brian, that you hate algebra, but geometry you like. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's very interesting. It's very interesting how many people are either algebra or geometry. One of those two works for them, and the other one is like chewing ground glass. I mean, and it's just like, so for you, you're probably looking at this going, oh, this makes so much sense. I totally get how this works. And you can see how all the angles are like working together, right? Am I right? Yeah. But I bet
Yeah.
when we were doing algebra, you were like, I'm going to beat my head into the wall until it's bloody. Is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's interesting, guys. It's really interesting. It's actually somewhat uncommon to find people that are good at both. Now, having said that, I'm not saying there's, that's not going to happen. Obviously, in an honors class, that happens more often than in a regular math class. But it's very interesting how the way the brain sees things, one or the other of those is the one that makes sense and works for that person's brain. It's very interesting. So you'll see someone that struggled with a subject, and then you switch to the other, and it's like, wow, this kid's a genius at this stuff. So it's just funny how our brains see things differently. Okay, so now what should I do? I have this as an unknown and I have this as an unknown. So are we ready to find that one yet? No. So what are we going to do to find this one then? Aaliyah's like, ooh, ooh, I know what that hint means. Okay, Aaliyah.
Well, I know. Well, I just remember you saying about it being 180, and then my brain went poof from there.
Yeah. So if it's on a straight line like that, it's going to be, so now I'm going to write 106 here, right? Because that's what this is. Now, wait a minute. I think we had that number before. These two numbers will give you this angle. Look at it. Look at it. Do you see how those two are the same? If I add these two together, they're the angle way over here, aren't they? Take a look at that for a second. I want this to be fun, guys. I don't want this to be hideous. That's why I'm going to give you till Friday to do this, okay? I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, I'm like trying to push a car uphill. I want this to be something where you can see how it's interesting how math works together. And I want you to learn some of the rules of geometry, not by memorizing them, but by seeing them and experiencing them. I think it's a much better way to learn this stuff than saying, well, just remember these two are opposite interior angles, and so they're congruent. And then you go, what? What was that? Well, they're opposite interior, and so to see, because that's a theorem. Huh? So this angle has a relationship based on 180 with these two angles, right? But it also has a relationship with 106 on the basis of 180, doesn't it? So it has a relationship with two sets of angles, both where they add up to 180. So then that means that these two added up are going to be this one over here, because 74 is the part left out of 180. Are we keeping you up, Yanira? I mean, really? Really? Could you yawn a little bigger? You could have swallowed a cat doing that. I mean, really? Oh, I tell you, some people's kids. Okay. So if this is 106 and this is 140, what's the measurement of that one? Go ahead, Brian. Brian's like, oh, thank God, I'm enjoying math again.
34.
Yeah. Brian, are you feeling like this great weight lifting off of you? You're like, oh, thank God, I might be able to do something that actually is interesting and understandable to me. Cool. All right. Does that make sense so far? What do you guys think about what I showed you so far? Do you see that? Do you see how there's logic to it? I mean, I don't care if you understand all of it yet. Do you see how there's a logic to it, that there's different relationships between these different angles? And then by looking for those relationships, I can find out unknown angles and then find new relationships. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like setting up a line of dominoes, okay? As soon as I find the first one, then I can find the next one and the next one, and finally I can find the answer. So like, let's look at this one here. Now I've lost two people. Grr. Grr. Oh well, I'm not going to find out. If I try to find out, it's going to make me unhappy. So let me show you how I would do this one, okay? So I want to look for those big angle relationships that I know about, okay? So I look at 137 and immediately I think to myself, well, this is 43 because they're supplemental, okay? I look at 78 and I go, well, this is 78 because they're vertical, okay? I look up here and I go, oh, 40, vertical, 40. And now I can go, woo, I took all the really easy ones off the table. And now all I have to do is, find a few now, right? Because I found the big ones. I found the low-hanging fruit, as it were. And now I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I know a bunch of angles here now. I need to find that one. But wow, I already know what this one is because I can combine these two and take them away from 180, right? Yeah, Allie, what's up?
Don't you get the 43?
Say what?
Can you hear me?
I can now, yes.
How did you get the 43? I'm drawing a big blank.
137 taken away from 180. Right? Because this is on a straight line, so they're supplementary angles, right? So 180 minus 137. So I can find this one by the angle sum theorem, right? By the angles in a triangle adding up to 180, right? Okay. So 180 minus, let's see, that's 110 plus 11, 121. So this is 59. Well, this angle is going to be 180 minus these two added together, right? Again, because of supplementary angles or just the fact that they're on a straight line. And so all the angles that make up that straight line there are going to add up to 180, right? Does that make sense, guys? So I'm going to do 180 minus, looks like 120, right? So this is going to be 60. Well, if this is 60 and this is 40, this is going to be 100. Why? Aaliyah?
Because 60 plus 40 is 100.
Yeah, but this is going to be 80, right? When we do the angle sum theorem, when we do the angles in a triangle. But then this is going to be 180 minus 80, which is 100. So again, this angle here has the same relationship to this one as these two do to this one. So these two are going to equal that one for the same way that they did up here. Yeah? Yeah, Brian?
How did you find the 60?
These two added together make 120. And since they're on a straight line, I took that 120 away from 180 and I got 60. See how this is on a straight line? So these three angles from here to here are 180. So I simply took away the two that I knew the value of, and that left me with the one that I didn't know the value of.
Okay,
Right?
yeah, I get it now.
Right? Yeah, Allie.
Can you do the 80 and 100 part again, like we explained
Oh,
it?
sure, yeah. So if we did it the quote unquote normal way, we'd see that I had 100 degrees of angles here, right? And so that means that what's left over has to be the 80 because 180 minus 100 is 80. But then this angle has the same relationship here with the terms of 180 as well, right? Except this one's going to be 180 minus whatever this one is. Let's say that's x. 180 minus x, right? But this one also equals 180 minus 100 equals x, right? Anyway, you can screw things wrong, but the idea is just the fact that there's interesting patterns that you'll start to see emerge when you start doing them sort of the quote unquote long way. And then you go, wait a minute, that 100 equals that. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, I see, because this is supplemental and these are three angles being added together. Oh, weird. Okay. I guess I can see how that works because they're both involving 180. So you're going to see some places where these rules intersect. Yeah, they're going to intersect in different places. Yes, Aaliyah.
Okay, so like I get it, but then again, like I don't get it.
Well, this isn't vital. What's important is that you understand you can get this as being 80 by subtracting 100 from 180 and then doing it again as a supplemental angle and getting 100. If you get this part being the same as this, I don't care about that right now. It's sort of a curiosity right now. Okay? Okay. Yes?
How did you get 120? How did you get 120 down there? The 180 minus 120?
These two angles right here, I had 59 and 61. So when I add those together, right, 160 or 120, I mean, sorry. And then I subtracted them from 180 and I got the 60 that's over here now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you for asking. Guys, you know I don't mind if you ask questions. If you're like, I have no flipping clue how we found that. Well, just give a holler. It's no big deal. The only person I'm going to be mean to is Jacoby. The rest of you I'll be nice to. Yes, Jacoby?
Okay, so like I understand.
Can we do like the hardest one, like out of all 20 of them?
Oh God, I don't know which one that is. Let me see. I'm just going to do the first 5 for you. Let's just stick with the first 5. They're all the same hardness. I didn't make them any more difficult. Now the second half is where you're having to find the value of X, which is different, but it's the same math. So we're gonna do 5 questions tonight, and then tomorrow we'll talk about how these kind of problems work. Okay. And then we'll do 5 of them in class, and then you'll do 5 for homework. Actually, we'll be done by Thursday then, I guess, really. Yes, Allie.
So we're only doing through 10 today.
Yeah, I'm only gonna do 5. You're only doing 5 for tonight.
Okay.
It's the end of the semester. Who's not tired? Is there anyone here that's not just like beat down tired, like somebody ran you over with a bus? Because I don't know about y'all, but I feel like somebody hit me with a bus like every day for the last week. So I figure if I'm feeling that way, you guys are probably feeling that way. Am I right? Anyone else? Anyone out there
No.
feeling like they're so tired they can barely keep their head up? Aaliyah's like, no, I want
I felt
more.
like
Well,
that yesterday.
You can do 15 tonight then, Aaliyah. If you're just so amazing. Didn't know you were Wolverine or Superman or something. Okay. All right. Whatever. Okay, now let's look at number 4. Now, again, I want to look at the things that I can easily find a value for. So I see, oh, look at X. And X means vertical lines, vertical angles. That's going to be 70. So I want to write that down right away. Huh? Now, well, I see another set of vertical angles. It says that this angle is 30, but that's only this angle, right? It's not the whole thing, it's just that little piece. So I see that I have a triangle here. Yeah, Liliana, say it again. You broke up.
Can you please zoom in? 'Cause I can't see it.
I can't understand you, sweetie. Are you having problems understanding me?
Can you please zoom in the camera? Because I can't see the numbers.
Ah,
I think you have to zoom in your camera.
yeah, I got it. Okay, good now? Okay, so I know this is 70. I know this one's 30, but now I'm kind of stuck. But I see another shape that I know I can do something with. I see a triangle. So I know that all the angles inside that triangle have to equal 180 degrees because I know this about triangles, right? So I've got 70 and 40. That equals 110. So if I subtract that, I get 70. Now that tells me that this angle here is 70. Now, if this entire angle here is 70 and this little piece is 30, then what's my unknown angle? What's the measurement of that unknown angle? Hint, this kind of works like complementary angles. Allie?
40.
Yeah, right? This is going to be 40 because if I draw this bigger and I say that this whole thing is 70, right? Whoops, sorry.
I can't see it.
Yeah, my bad. I realize that. So if I have this is 30 and the whole angle is 70, then what's here has got to be 40, right? Because that's going to be what I need to make up the rest of 70, right? So I end up with my answer being 40 degrees is the measurement of that missing angle. Yeah, Jacoby.
So you know the 180 minus 110?
Yeah, because
Where did you get that from?
well, I got 70 because I did the vertical angles here. Whoops, sorry. Yeah, I got 70 because of the vertical angles here, right? And 70 plus 40 is 110. So I subtracted that from 180 and I got 70 for this whole big angle, right? Because the 30 is only a piece of that 70-degree angle. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I'm going to do one more, then I'm going to set you free. Okay. Now again, I'm going to look for, is there anything here that I can automatically just find? Yeah, I've got 82 here, right? Because that's another vertical angle. So if I do that right away, I've got another piece of information. Now I can stop and look at it again and say, okay, now what can I find? Because I'm looking for this angle way the heck over here. That was a crappy arrow. What's up with that? So let's see. So I look at it again and go, oh, wait a minute, I see a triangle. So 82 plus 51 is going to be important. I'm going to add those together. And if I subtract those from 180, I'm going to get 47. So this angle right here is 47. Now you see that little shape down in the corner there. What does that little shape tell me? What, Audrey?
It's a right angle.
And therefore it has a measurement of 90. So if this whole angle here is 90 and this part is 47, that means this part is 43 because 90 minus 47 is 43, right? We following that? You're lucky I'm recording this, right? Because then you can go back and play this again so you can go, okay, I see what he did there. Okay, now I get that. And it's okay. That's part of the reason why I'm trying to remember to record these crazy things. So if this is another triangle, then I know that 43 plus 77 plus question mark equals 180. So if I take 180 and I subtract 120, I get 60. So this is 60. Now I look at it again. What relationship does this angle have to this angle? What relationship do those two angles have? What property of angles do they share? Jacoby?
They're called the aren't they the vertical?
Nope, vertical is
Uh-oh.
across from each other.
Corresponding?
Okay, Brian, come on. Save the day.
It's a supplementary angle.
Right, remember they're supplementary because they add up to 180. Now here's the deal. Even if you don't know what the heck they're called, does it matter? No, as long as you know what the rule is, right? If you know the rule, well, this is 180, so obviously 180 minus 60 is going to give me this angle because they're on a straight line. Even if you can't remember what the stupid thing's called, you can still use your brain and say, well, logically, they're on a 180-degree line, and if 160, the other has to be 120. That's just logic, right? And you're smart enough to figure that kind of stuff out, even if you can't remember what the stupid name is. It's okay, right? I'm not training you to be little zombies of mathematics here. What I'm trying to do is train your mind. I'm trying to get your mind to think intelligently about mathematics. Okay? Does that make sense? Because I could teach you rules all day long, and what the heck good is that? So you're good at memorizing stuff. Big deal. Is it going to teach you how to think about things? Nope. It's going to teach you how to apply rules. Well, that's great, but it's better to understand why the rules exist. Yeah, Liliana.
How did you get the 60?
Okay, yeah. Remember, we found that this angle was 43, right? Because this is a right angle here, and we found the 47 before. So 47 plus 43 gives me 90. So that gave me the 43. And when I added 43 to 77, I got 120. And so since I had a 120 here, that meant that the rest of the way up to 180 would be 60. Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Aaliyah.
Since you're doing these first five right now, do you want us to still like solve them on paper for homework, but still do those other five?
I would do the second five first. And if you're running into problems with them, I might go back to the ones that we already worked and see if looking at the ones we already worked give you an understanding as to how to solve the second five. I wouldn't just rework them just for the heck of it. I'm not asking you to. I really just want you to do the next five. But again, you're going to have a video of us working the first five together, right? So
Yeah.
if you run into one where you're like, this kind of looks like this one, well, you can fast forward it to number 3 and look at that one and go, oh yeah, right, that's how we found that. And then solve the next one that you're working on, right? How are we feeling about this? You feeling, not in terms of understanding, I'm not asking 1 to 5, but how are you feeling about taking these on tonight? You feeling okay about taking these on tonight? Do we have to worry about whether we get them right? What's our goal tonight? What are we trying to do tonight doing these 5 problems?
Learn.
Yeah, we're trying to learn, right? So is learning a perfect operation? Never. Learning is ugly. Learning has mistakes. It has places where you're like wanting to like face palm yourself repeatedly because you can't figure out what to do next. But that's okay. What do you do? Well, if that problem really is frustrating, you skip it. It's okay. We're learning. The process of getting into it and struggling with it will probably make the solution when I show it to you make more sense than if you just went, oh, this is too hard. I'm not doing that one at all. Instead of trying it and doing your best with it, So give it a shot. So wait, I don't care if you don't get them right. Frankly, I expect most of you to get these wrong. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying we're just starting this and these are complex. That's why I'm giving you 5 to work on, right? I'm not being mean about it. Maybe 5 problems. Who gets 5 problems for homework? Nobody gets 5 problems for homework, right? So
My sister.
What's that? Your sister, and she's in
I
what?
said my sister.
She's what, in 1st grade or something?
No, third.
3rd, okay. All right.
Yeah.
We do in Miss Gage's class sometimes.
So what I want you to do is I want you to do numbers 6 through 10. Please don't go off into 11 through 20 unless you just feel like you just have to. Brian might do it because he's just feeling happy that he understands something and doesn't feel like the math is kicking him in the teeth anymore. So that's, I kind of expect that he's going to do more because he's going to be like, I could do these too. This is awesome. Yay. I'm feeling better. So I know that feeling. I've been there. I'm not making fun of you, right, Brian? I'm just saying, I get it, man. When you get to that point, you're like, oh, thank God I understand this. Oh, good. I might be able to breathe for a couple of weeks instead of feeling like I'm gasping for air 40 feet below water, right? So, but just do what you can with these guys. It's no big deal. There's no drama. There's no, but I want you to try all 5 of them. Don't come back and say, I only did a couple of them. I don't want to hear that crap. I expect you to do your best on all 5 of these. So do something. So at least you should be doing I found a vertical angle. I found a supplementary angle. If you can't figure out where to go from there, I'm okay with that. But you dang well better at least find those main types like vertical angles and supplemental angles. If you don't show me that you found that, I'm going to be really unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Because that means basically you didn't try. And that's not okay. Yeah, Allie.
You were talking and now I forgot. Oh yeah. Do you want us to take a picture and attach it?
Not right now. Let's just, we'll do that at the end. We'll turn it all in at one shot, okay? For right now, I would just like us to enjoy doing this week. Honestly, I know you may think that that's a bunch of crap, how we're going to enjoy doing these, but I'd really like you to find a place where you can enjoy doing these and just go, oh, I see how the math applies there. Cool. Okay. Yeah, Andrew, what's up?
Can I talk to you after class about like grades or and stuff?
Sure. Brian, what's up?
When we're doing the assignment, decide, or should we like label each part of it, like, or do we just put the answer
All
on
you have
the?
to show me, all you have to do is just write the numbers in, because if the numbers are wrong, you're not going to find the right answer.
Yes, yes.
Guys,
yes.
Here's the deal. I don't grade your homework the way some crazy math teachers do, okay? Honestly, me grading every piece, every problem that you do is kind of pointless, okay? You know whether or not you're understanding a piece of math and when you're not. How many know that? How many of you need somebody to actually grade your work to know whether or not you understood it? You know if you get it or not. If you don't get it, it's like, oh, sweet Jesus, somebody just kill me now. I can't do this work. I know everything I'm doing is wrong. Or you're like, I'm kicking butt on this because I totally get how this works. Or you come to class, you ask for a couple of examples be done, you go, oh crap, that's it. Okay, yeah, okay, now I get it. Okay. I don't believe in wasting my time correcting an entire worksheet for you to go, oh, I did get them all right. I knew I understood it. Or, oh, you got them all wrong. Well, if you got them all wrong, you know you got them all wrong. It's no secret. It's not a secret to you for sure. Right? I mean, if you go through a worksheet and you know you've gotten them all wrong, you know you've gotten them all wrong, right? It's not like you go, oh, I just applied this and it worked fine. I'm doing great. Crap. Right? Okay. So 5 problems for tonight. Okay. Stop sharing, and